Buckeye Fan 14 has a question. It says, why do the money guys recommend saving in a taxable account when there are ways to access retirement accounts before 59, such as Roth conversion strategy, Roth basis, etc.? Isn't that unnecessary taxes?
Isn't that? Well, okay, let's go down this path, right?
Let's go down the path.
Are we suggesting? I'm sorry, you didn't come at me confrontationally. I'm not going to come at you confrontationally.
He was like, "What?"
The problem with Roth assets are we're kind of limited in how much Roth we can get. You know, we can either do the 6,500 or 7,500 if you're over 50, or if you're doing the 401k, you can do the 22,500 or 30,000 on the Roth 401k side. And yes, you can build up basis and you can do it that way. But remember, if you're working through the financial order of operations, Brian, will you hold it up for me real quick?
Oh, yeah, there it is.
In step 5, you've maxed out all your Roth options, your tax-free options. You've done your Roth, you've done your health savings account. In step 6, then you go max out your employer plan. Based on your tax rate, you're either doing all Roth 401k or you're going to do all pre-tax 401k. Well, once you've maxed all that out, once you've done all of that, and you still have extra money to save, where are you going to put it, right? You don't have another tax-deferred, tax-incentivized option. So we are not advocating saying, hey, you should be doing a taxable account in lieu of doing those accounts. It's why it's step 7 and not step 6, not step 5. If you are asking that question, if you're building taxable assets, it's because you've already maximized those available buckets that were there and present for you. I think I was understanding his question. That is what he was asking, wasn't it?
He's saying, look, there's all these loopholes like Roth, pulling money basis out and so forth. You break the glass, get to your Roth, do that. But it's still, we are thinking in a tax smart way, but it's just we're thinking about it a little more different, in a more legacy and what's the opportunity cost and ability to build is because I look at Roth accounts. I guess you'd call me Gollum and the fact that it's like my precious. I mean, I absolutely love tax-free growth because it builds tremendous legacy opportunities. And every year, because I pay a lot of taxes. I just want you to know, I pay a ton of taxes. But when I look at that Roth account, I'm like, I got you, Uncle. I'm going to give you every bit of what you're owed. But this one, I get to stub my nose at you a little bit because I've built all this tax-free growth opportunity. So Buckeye Fan 14, I don't think that we're trying to create more taxes. We're just trying to let that compounding growth really maximize to turn you into that tax-free millionaire, because that's the part that you get me excited. When you build 7 figures of Roth assets, woo-hoo-hoo, that compounding starts stacking on top of each other. And the uncle's just like, man, how did we let them get in this situation? Because remember, it brings it full circle back to what Bo said. The government restricts how much you can put into Roth accounts for a reason, is they know that they have given you something that is sugary, sweet, and awesome, so you better take advantage of it and maximize it as much as possible.
And he put a clarification on here. He said, this is what this is really about. I'm talking about in regards to retiring early and not to making retirement accounts to fund the taxable. So he's saying, I'm talking about specifically retiring early. Well, I think it still applies, what Brian just said. Those Roth assets, the most value that can be garnered out of them, that can be gained out of them, is if you let them compound for absolutely as long as possible. In theory, your Roth bucket should be the last bucket you pull from. Now, in practice, it might look a little bit different if you're playing the tax game. So you kind of got to move that out of the equation. If you're going to retire early and you burn through all your Roth assets between like age 40 and 59 and a half, man, you missed out on some like amazing opportunity there. And if you start trying to convert pre-tax assets, well, all you're then doing is accelerating taxation. And how are you going to pay the taxes on that? Are you going to use retirement asset? The taxable, it's like your Swiss Army knife is what that taxable account does. It's the thing that gives you the flexibility to do all the other planning that you might want to do in your financial plan.
Well, I think that clarification helps me out tremendously because he's now probably thinking about, was it 72T where you can annuitize, you can essentially you can turn any IRA into an annuity stream before 59 and a half and start taking it. So even if you retire at 45, you could do this strategy. And you see people talk about this loophole. But here's the reality of why after tax is probably going to be a better choice here. It's back to Gollum and being my precious, is that if I have the ability of having a big enough brokerage after tax account to kind of be that bridge to, when I can get to the 59 and a half or some of the other 55 assets if you have a 401k, It allows me to have as much conversion time to turn tax-deferred assets into tax-free Roth assets, because I love legally manipulating the tax code. That gets me really excited thinking about what the opportunity could be for those dollars. Once again, it's back to tax-free millionaire. If you can get to 7-figure status with a Roth account, man, that is a crowning achievement that I'm working on, and I think it's one of those really cool things if you can make it happen.